my stamping friends. It's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Albert, Alberta. And thank you for joining me today on my Mystery Monday video. So we had some snow here this weekend on Friday, but the temperatures are starting to rise, so it's pretty much disappearing, which is great. Not quite ready for full-on winter yet, but we are going to be doing some winter / Christmas projects going forward through into December. Before we know it, oh my gosh, Christmas is going to be right around the corner. So today we're going to use this Jolly Holly bundle of documents of products. Oh my gosh, my brain. And this is an online exclusive item, and it comes with a stamp set with some really fun dies, okay, and a hybrid embossing folder. So the hybrid embossing folder is this one, Jolly Holly Hybrid. So we are going to use this, but there's two different ways you can use this. So I'll get to that in just a minute. So I will show you the project we are doing today. It is this one, and I'm calling this a split panel or a front split panel card. So you've got the front little section that flips up. You can write your greeting in there, and then it flips down, and it should stand. So it does stand as well. So this is going to also use some designer series paper, which is, I believe, the Elegant Pines. No, maybe I got that wrong. I always get this one wrong. Elegant Pine Snowflakes designer paper. And I'll just quickly show you a little bit of it. Some of it I've already cut up and used. So it's snowflakes and kind of pine all in one. So here you've got some snowflakes from pines, right? And the back is this pattern, which we're going to use today. And you've got this darker one, which is different than this darker one. Okay, this is very elegant and lovely. And you've got actual snowflakes back there. And this pine one, and you've got some green snowflakes there. These nice pine cones with the pines. And also this green sort of speckled pattern, and some more pines and branches here with holly berries, and this really fun sort of pretty peacock. And then this large snowflake, is that not something, right? Wow, that is really big. And then this sort of scattered out of the shaded spruce. Okay, so really a pretty paper. So really nice for the holidays. Sort of some non-traditional colors in that one with the pretty peacock and all of that. So we are using a strip of that paper. So let us get started, and I'll show you how to put this together. I don't know if any of you have done one of these. Let me know in the comments if you have. So we're starting with a piece of basic white, and of course you can do this out of any color palette. So basic white, it's 11 by 4 1/4, and we are going to score that. Let me just set this aside so you can see. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. Okay, so our center, or is it 5 1/2? Sorry, 5 1/2. I've got it backwards. 5 1/2 is where we're gonna score. Okay, so move your cutting blade out of the way. I'm gonna score, and then I'm just gonna sort of fold it in half so I can see where that score line is. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do just a little cut down to give us this front flap. Okay. So let me just double check my measurement. I believe, yes, it's 1 1/4 inches in. So I'm just going to go this way, 1 1/4. And then what you're going to do, you're going to cut from the edge down to the score line. Okay. So we've got it at 1 1/4. You could do 1 1/4 on this side if that's more comfortable, but I'm going to do it over on this side. And then you're just going to cut down to this score line. Now, if you're a little bit nervous about how far to go, you don't want to go too far, you know, you can just stop and finish the rest with some scissors, okay? So I'm not too bad with how that turned out, okay? So that is all the cutting we need to do. So then when I flip it over, this is going to be our front, all right? So we're just going to score there. And then what we're going to do is this little flap here, we are going to just put some adhesive and stick it all down, okay? We don't want that flopping around. So on the inside, you're just going to put some adhesive and then fold this over, line it up. It should just fall into place and just press it. Okay, so then this is really the only flat part you have to worry about. Okay, so on this side, we're going to put a piece of that designer paper. And I will post all of these measurements, but this is 1 by 5 1/4 of that pine one. If you wanted to use the other side, you could definitely do that. That's sort of got some nice pine snowflakes there too. Maybe I should do that on this one just for some fun, for something different. Here I did use this sort of shaded spruce one. What should I do, guys? So many choices. Should I do 2 of the same, or should I just try something different? Let's try something a little different. And it just shows, you know, our designer papers are so beautiful that, you know, so many of these patterns can be used. All right, so this, which way should I put this now? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do it this way. So we're just going to put that on that little strip that we glued down, all right? And that will be the outside left of our card. Okay, so on this part is where we want to put this embossed piece. So this is where that hybrid embossing folder comes in. Now, let me know if you've used a hybrid embossing folder or if it's something new for you. So this die that was in that Jolly Holly set, you're thinking, what is that? It looks kind of odd. But what it is one way to use this hybrid embossing folder, okay? So on the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo, you would turn this so the cut side is up. If you're not sure how to use these, I'm just going to sort of just explain it quickly. Now you just have to make sure this is on the right side. Yeah, this way. That it lines up with all of these holly leaves here. And you're just going to kind of move it around and it will sort of fall into place, okay? And then what you would do is you would put your cardstock on top. So let's pretend I have, oh, I don't have just a piece of cardstock, but let's pretend we're using this one. You would close it and you can see on the back, hope you can see, how the dies kind of line up around the leaves. You would then run it through your embossing machine with the emboss plate, which is the gray plate, because this is a little bit of a thicker folder. And then when it comes out, it will be, I'm not going to do it on this card, but I'll show you when I did on my live on Friday. It'll come out like this, where these pieces are also cut out, but not completely, okay? So it gives you a little bit different look to that folder. This is with the hybrid embossing folder and the die, okay? So this, you can check my YouTube channel, and I think my Facebook page, it's probably still on there if you want to see how this particular project came together. But this is how it would come out if you used that folder and the die. Now what we're doing today is we are just using the folder by itself, and this is how it came out. Okay, so I just did it on basic white, and we're going to put that on this front panel. Okay, so you can use it for just embossing, or you can use that with the die, that hybrid embossing folder. And when it's sold, the bundle, you get the stamp set, and the dies and hybrid folder come together. So it all comes together in the bundle price, which is a great deal. All right, so let's put this on the front panel here. Okay, so we have that. Now you could, if you wanted, color in these little berries or even the leaves if you wanted. I'm just going to leave it plain for now. So I'm going to set that aside and we are going to work on our little greeting here. Okay, so these are also cut out from those Jolly Holly. Oh my gosh, everybody I hear using this set calls it in reverse, so it's pretty interesting. So it's these two dies, okay, that come in the bundle. So one is larger, one is a little bit smaller, which is perfect because then when you've cut out your paper, they just lay on top of each other beautifully. So I use the small one for the white and the larger one for the shaded spruce, okay? So let's go ahead and stamp our greeting on here. And again, I'm using the stamp set. I'm going to put together Merry and Christmas. There are some other greetings in here that you could do as well, or Happy Christmas or just joy. You have different options. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp that on the white. All right, so do Merry. Just hopefully I don't get too much ink on the border here. Let's do Merry at the top. All right, and then we'll do Christmas underneath. You could emboss this too if you really wanted, but I'm just going to do it like this. All right, so let's put Christmas, center that underneath the Merry. Okay, so there's our Merry Christmas. And maybe while we're stamping, I'm going to stamp our inside. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up, and on this white, I'm going to stamp this one. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. I think that's lovely. So let's just put some shaded spruce ink on that as well. And I'm just going to center that. And there you go. Nice crisp green. It's a lovely green for holidays and Christmas. I love it. Okay, so that part is done. So back to our greeting. So before I put this on, I'm going to wrap some ribbon around this shaded spruce. So this is some old ribbon we had from last year. Now, unfortunately, it's discontinued. I thought it might still be on the last chance list, but it is not there. The shaded spruce, what was this? Satin and sheer ribbon, which is just really, really pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of eyeball it, wrap it around the left side about as high as I want, because I'm still going to tie this together, and we can always trim off the ends, right? So what I'm going to do is grab some tear and tape just to help tack this down on the back, and maybe the front too, but let's just sort of line these up, and I might just trim this off. Okay, so let's line this ribbon up. This is kind of the finicky part, right? Always dealing with ribbons and bows and things, but I think it just adds a little something to this project. So you could use different ribbons too. We've got some other really nice ones. Okay, so let's just sort of make sure that is sitting sort of straight on the back. I'm just going to put a piece of tear and tape on the back here. I'm just wondering if I should put it underneath or just on this one side. I don't want it to show because when we lift this, the greeting, yeah, maybe I will just sort of put it on this edge here, kind of diagonal, just to tack it down a little bit. Okay, and then the front, maybe I'll just tack that down as well, because nobody's going to see it. this tear and tape on the front, but it'll make tying this a little bit easier. I'm gonna sort of tie a knot around with some baker's twine, so it's just easier if it's not moving all over the place. Tying bows can be a challenge at the best of times, never mind when they're loose and flopping everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to take some white baker's twine and I'm just going to tie a bow here. So let me just see. I'm just going to measure maybe like a 9-inch piece to start. It's probably too long, but I'd rather have a little bit more than not enough. And like I said, we can always trim those ends after. So let's just try to even this up. And we're just going to sort of tie this around this green ribbon just to sort of give it, you know, pinch it together. You could leave it like it is if you wanted. But let's just try to make a little bow here. So we'll pinch this, okay? And hopefully this ribbon will sit fairly straight. You might want to go down just a little bit. And I think I might do a double knot here, just so it doesn't come loose. And then my bow, which I'm not very good at. Okay, sort of like that for now. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that, and we're going to probably trim these off after, these tails a little bit. Okay, so now what we can do is put this white greeting on top. Okay, so I'm just going to take off this tear and tape here, and I might just add an extra little bit of adhesive on the ends. And then we can center this on top of this shaded spruce rectangle, okay? So let's do it like so. All right. And that's looking pretty good. Okay, so I don't have any adhesive showing here. This I might just leave on. No one's going to see it at the back. Okay, so now what we can do is maybe we should add our little holly. Okay, so I stamped and used some blends for these 3 holly leaves. So they're also in the set with a die to cut them out. Okay, so I just colored them in with some blends. I used the light and dark shaded spruce and the light cherry cobbler to color those in. And then I'm just going to sort of put them on top of here. You could do a glue dot, just adhesive, whatever you like. So I might just sort of put one there. And the other one, you can overlap them or leave them just side by side, whatever you like, or tuck one underneath. Okay, and then I think I'll put one towards the bottom as well. So let's do it maybe right in the corner. We'll put them in the corner like so. Okay, and then we're going to bring out our dimensionals, and you're going to put them on just to the right. Okay, so maybe use your ribbon as a bit of a guide, because you want it to sort of go over the designer paper, but you don't want it to stick to that, right? Because otherwise your flap won't open. So I'm just going to sort of put it on this side. Get my twine out of the way. Let me just move that. Okay, so let's just put some here. And a few dimensionals here. And that will just pop up a little bit on our base. I think I got the backing off. Okay, so wherever you want, if you want it in the center, that would be nice too. Maybe we should do that this time, but you don't want your ribbon to go over too far. Oh boy, okay, let's do it over here. Let's do it about here, okay? And your ribbon is there, and I think I will just even these out a little bit, just so they aren't all messed up. And then last, I'm going to add a little bit of bling, like usual. Christmas, we always add some bling, whether it's embossing or gold foil or whatever. Now, I don't have any shaded spruce embellishments. So I am going to just take my rhinestone gems and my dark shaded spruce blend, and I'm just going to color in maybe 3. I'm just going to color 3 of these. Okay, you can do these on your pearls, on anything that's, you know, white or clear that doesn't have color. You can color them yourself. Okay, so just use your blends to get the color that you want, if you want something to match. I was looking at some other embellishments, but they were really sort of sitting a little bit high, and I just didn't do it for me. So I thought, well, let's just do this. And they may not be quite as dark as the paper, but you still get that bit of green shining through, right? So then we will just add these on top. So we'll put one here, and then the other 2 I'm just going to put here on the white, random, wherever you would like. So maybe one there. You could add more, but I'm just going to do 3 just to get a little pop of something. And there you go, your split front panel card. So this would come up, and you could still write your greeting in there. If you want, you could tack down this ribbon a little bit. If you know, it's bothering you, if it's standing up too much. Maybe I'll just trim these ends too, because they're not quite even. Right, and there you go. So that is our Mystery Monday project for today. So I hope you'll give that technique a try, and you know, play with some different color palettes and things. Even if the, you know, instead of the white, you could certainly cut and emboss these out of colored cardstock too. It might give it a really nice effect as well. So I hope you enjoyed that project, and we will see you again next time. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.